Mike Mars for In Wheel Time. And we've been up here in Lexington, Kentucky for a few days trying to get some information about the new Ram 1500 eTorque system. And in this video, we're going to be talking with Mike Raymond, Chief Engineer for the Ram 1500. He's going to give us an overview of some of the suspension changes and some of the technology they've put into it, and a lot of the details that make this truck what it is.
All right, thank you, Jim. Good morning, everybody. So I'm one of the fortunate ones. I've been on this program cradle to grave, so fortunately lucky. Great product, and I'm glad to be part of it. So this program, when we first got started, it was all about input from our friends over in brand and planning. And the whole idea behind the truck was to provide more, but do so without compromise. When I say provide more, it's more technology. There's 40 new features on this truck compared to the previous Ram 1500. More efficiency in terms of overall fuel economy, to the customer. More comfort and convenience. More dynamics in terms of how the vehicle steers, rides, handles. And more capability in terms of payload and towing. So the mission was to provide more, but once again, do that without compromise. The current truck's a great truck. Let's use that as a stepping stone to create the new truck. So let's start off with technology. What I'll do is I'll work off the body here, and then we'll work our way over to the chassis. So from a body standpoint, I want to focus on technologies. And what we do is we have technologies that basically, I look at safety in terms of there's the active portion of that, those things that prevent accidents. And there's also a passive part of safety as you start dealing with collapse and so forth, the structure, and how you manage all that energy. So some of the new technologies we have on board deal with that active side of it. On our optional on our truck, we have a sensor farm, which you'll see it on some of the vehicles out there on the ride today. Sensor farm up high on the windshield. That sensor farm basically houses both radar and cameras. So some of the features that go along with that system are basically active cruise control, the stop and go, forward collision mitigation. So basically the vehicle will start braking as it sees an object beginning to decelerate and stop in front of you. And also lane keep assist. Lane keep assist uses those cameras that I mentioned to basically identify lane markings. And as the driver begins, as you begin to deviate towards the lane marking, it'll offer a corrective steer back to center line. So that's what lane keep assist is all about. 360 surround view. Big vehicle working through a parking lot. It's the beauty of this system. 4 cameras are used for 360 surround. One camera is located up here in the grill, just beneath the A. We have cameras in each rearview mirror, side mirror, and then there's one in the tailgate. Gives you a good bird's eye view of your surroundings and so forth as you're navigating those tight spots. Rear backlights come with radar for blind spot detection. What we do unique here is we use that radar signal, and basically it senses a trailer behind you. So hey, there's an object back there. It's not closing or gaining on you. It's just hanging off the ass end of the truck. Okay, so you make a left turn, right turn, and basically it'll calculate the length of the trailer. And if you have it in auto mode, basically it'll bend the trailer length into 10 foot, 20 foot, or 30 foot length. If you select maximum, it'll assume a 39-foot trailer. And what it does is it takes that blind spot alert, which can be a chime and or a chiclet and the mirror lights up. It takes that warning and moves it to the back end of the trailer. So it doesn't change your blind spot. It sits back here in the seat pillar. It takes that warning and shoves it aft, puts it back towards the end of your trailer. So as you're making a lane change on a highway, somebody's coming up on your trailer or next to your trailer, it gives you a warning much earlier than the blind spot. That's the beauty of that system. Another feature on the truck is amber turn. You'll see that on your drive today, the vehicle in front of you. That rear tail lamp has got a white amber turn. It helps with great visibility, foggy days and so forth, cloudy days. It basically just lights up the truck. And then lastly, what we have is premium headlamps. This headlamp here is our quad halogen you find on the Bighorn, but on our premium headlamp, which is basically a quad LED projector, those outer lenses pivot up to 15 degrees. So you get into a corner based on speed and radius of turn, those outer lenses will pivot. So on a left-hand turn, that inboard outer lens will pivot up to 15 degrees. And then on the opposite side, that right-hand lens, that'll pivot about 7.5 degrees. You need to be going about 8 miles an hour. You know, the speed's in excess of 8 miles an hour to make that system active. So that's some of the new features on the truck. With respect to the body-in-white structure, it's all about strength and it's all about efficiency. So when it comes to efficiency, the overall truck's dropped 225 pounds of weight. 100 pounds come out of the body-in-white. We've done so predominantly focused on high-strength steels. So 54% of the steels are high-strength steels. It's 4 times more than 2018 Ram 1500. Some examples of the high-strength steels. We have what we call an aperture extensions. Okay, that we hang battery packs and a few things off of it. Big in terms of front structure, in terms of impact. Using the advanced high-strength steels allows us to go to a hydroform structure up there. That hydroform front structure is basically then uniform, it's very consistent, it allows us, it's a good way to absorb energy and so forth. At the back end of the truck, we call it our D pillar, tailgate. Typically, it's a stick construction where you've got a post and a beam, you weld it, create your structure. Once again, we've gone to a hydroform structure back there where it's a continuous beam. Save 7 pounds. The door ring. This perimeter around the door ring, basically, it's hot stamped steel. So it goes into the die hot, it's quenched, it gets real high tensile strength because of that. That's our safety ring. So when you get in that collision or get into rollover situations, that's that safety cage that helps protect the occupants. So those are some examples of how we use high-strength steel. We do use aluminum. The hood is aluminum, carries over from the current truck. A little different design, of course, new design. But this time around, we've added aluminum to the tailgate. So the tailgate is aluminum, and that saves 15 pounds. Okay, so the main focus was high-strength steels, but we strategically used aluminum where appropriate. So that was it in terms of overall strength and efficiency. Another equation with respect to efficiency is overall drag, aerodynamics. So the body contour itself helps with drag as the vehicle's cruising at highway speeds. This contour, basically our drag coefficient is a 0.357 value, best in segment. It's an improvement of 9% over the 2018 Ram 1500. Now 40% of that 9% reduction comes out of the body-in-white contour. Small features, but very effective. Our bed height is increased by 35 millimeters. That helped reduce drag. If you look at the back of the cab at the roof line, there's this dovetail shape in there. Okay, it helped reduce drag. The front bumper and sealing system up here are active grille shutters that move forward, better sealed. All that contributes to basically improving reducing that drag. But the single biggest item that we've added to the program is called our active air dam. You don't see it here. What you see on this truck is a fixed air dam. But our active air dam deploys at 35 miles per hour. So at 35, it basically kicks out. Working on our wind tunnel, we developed the sweet spots where this thing sits in terms of height above the pavement. So it gets air out and around the truck, and it gets it down to the pavement in a laminar type of form of flow. So that active air dam is another 40% contributor to the reduction. So very unique part. And when we get to the chassis, I'll show you where that mounts and so forth. So that's it in terms of efficiency. Quickly on comfort, you will experience a quiet ride today. Very confident about that. We've got robots 100% sealing the cabs. Those where it's during lights assembly. But for those bigger areas that we can't see with the robots, we've designed 26 unique baffles. Okay, those baffles, plug those bigger rat holes, so to speak, to basically help seal that truck. Acoustic front windshield, acoustic front side glass. That windshield, by the way, is another 4.5 pound savings by going to acoustic. So those are the things that kind of contribute to the quietness of the cab. In terms of our heating and cooling system, flow is increased by 30%. Once again, let's work on getting that customer more comfortable, whether they're down with the heat, setting the defrost, or trying to cool down the cabin. So we've got an increase in airflow in both the front and rear occupants. In terms of some of the convenience, our crew cab has grown 4 inches. But you find 3 of those inches in the back seat. So our rear legroom is 45.2 inches of rear legroom. A lot of people are going to want to be chauffeured, nobody's want to drive this product anymore. Even though it is fun to drive, they're going to be chauffeured around in luxury. There's a rear recline seat, offers up to 8 degrees of rear recline back there as well. But one of the unique things about the truck is there's 151 liters of interior storage, and it's usable storage. You can fill it up with occupants, 5 passenger or 6 passenger, but there's still 151 liters of storage there. The front floor console, it's got 40 liters of storage. It's reconfigurable. Underneath the rear seat, there's a fold-out compartment. That basically is another 40 liters of storage. In-floor storage, we're unique in offering in-floor storage on our crew cab as standard. There's 23 liters of storage. Add in upper and lower glove boxes, you get the 151. More than twice the competitive set. Another thing with the 4-inch increase, we have a flat load floor now. You see that both on the quad and the crew models. Once again, it offers comfort to that occupant that would have to sit in that middle seat position in the rear. And then in terms of seats will stadium, and it offers you, once again, more space for hauling televisions or those bigger things you don't necessarily want to put in the back. Okay, so flat load floor is something else that's unique with this truck versus the 2018 truck. So that's it in terms of comfort and convenience. What I'll do is head over here to the rolling chassis. If you want to stand up and join me, or you can stay put. Choice is yours. So as Jim mentioned, and really this is, call it the working side of the vehicle. So in terms of capability, in terms of dynamics, this is where it all happens. And once again, in terms of our capability numbers, payload is increased by basically 22%. Like 2,300 pound payload. Towing is increased by 20%. So it's 12,750 pounds. So think about it, 12,750 pounds in a 5,500 pound vehicle. 2-to-1 ratio. Just keep that in mind. So as we look here at the chassis, in terms of those capability and basically getting to those type of values, we redesigned the front suspension, the rear suspension, and the rear axle. We did all that, increased that duty cycle for the bigger payloads, but we took weight out. 125 pounds would come out of the total chassis. 100 pounds would come out of the frame specifically. Now with this frame, once again, our main focus is high-strength steels. 98% of the frame is comprised of high-strength steels. To give you a couple examples here, these black longitudinal sections, it's called multi-phase steel. So basically roll form to go through a annealing process to get the high tensile strength that we need. With that high tensile strength, we're allowed to down gauge, but then also we increase the box section, the height section of the frame to meet our NVH stiffness requirements. Okay? But those black components, look at the overall length of the frame, very significant contributor to reducing weight. The green parts, another form of high strength steel. Those are, call it our load transfer parts. Okay, the unique thing about this steel is it's called ferrite paintite, but the unique thing about it is it's great for formability, it's got great durability strength, okay, and it offers the stiffness we need at the flow transfer points. You see it under the lower control arm pivot rack, for example. Load transfer, all the cab mounts area, load transfer. Rear, okay, in terms of impact. Once again, all load transfer. So that was the mentality of the frame. 100 pounds came out of the frame. Now, one of the unique things about the frame, in terms of the strength it provides, is with respect to that passive side of an impact. All right, you got a crushed cabinet. What we have here up front is basically splayed rails. So they're splayed out 23 degrees to get into those offset type of events. But basically, our frame tips vary in thickness from 2 millimeters up to 3. Okay, and then they're octagon in shape, so it's kind of, I'm Polish, right? So it's kind of like this accordion thing as it begins to collapse and absorb that energy. Okay, so that's the unique thing about it. We then try to control the tire. Okay, during those impact events, and what you see hanging off these appendages here, are basically we call it tire lock. Okay, you want to take that tire and you want to load the sill on the truck, on the body white. You want to avoid letting that thing pivot inboard into the passenger part of the floorboard. So that's the whole mission of this front structure, is to basically control this tire wheels. Oh yeah, I did mention the active air dam. We do have these downstanding stanchions here, and those downstanding stanchions are where that active air dam mounts. Okay, so it uses these pickup points here, and basically deploys at 35 miles an hour. Okay, and then retracts at 15. Okay, so basically, you pull it into your driveway, you're out on that 2-track, it retracts. It's clutchable. You know, if there's some roadkill, a raccoon or something, you know, it blows up out of the way, and then with speed, it remembers where it's at, and then basically it'll redeploy at speed. So that's the front structure. The front suspension, steering gear is all new for parallel and perpendicular park. In the process of offering new steering gear, hey, we found a pound. Okay, upper control arm. This is basically a short, long arm setup here in the front suspension. But the upper control arm is a stamping. The unique thing about it, we have overmolded nylon glass reinforced insert that's overmolded to it. It starts out with a forging on today's truck. You save another 1.2 pounds by going to a stamping with that reinforcement. Big thing about the front suspension that's unique is we've taken the front sway bar and put it behind the knuckle. This is basically to reduce our overall roll stiffness by 20% to improve that ride and steering characteristic of the vehicle. Take that fun to drive that we have today, and let's turn it up, let's dial it up. So taking that sway bar to the backside, you know, helps us reduce roll stiffness, but also helps us save weight. We have tubular sway bars, which is about a 4-pound save. Moving aft here, we do use aluminum. We have 2 aluminum cross members on the frame. One's here underneath the transmission. The other one basically is a cross member which goes between our rear lower control arm pivots. Okay, so once again, hey, we're not shy about using aluminum. We just strategically use it. Front knuckle and front control arm are also aluminum. It gives you a feel for how we apply it. Front brakes. Actually, I'll talk about brakes in general. I mentioned that 2-to-1 ratio of, call it, trailer to cab or to vehicle. So you can imagine coming down a mountain, okay, and you got twice the weight pushing you downhill. What we've got here is basically a completely redesigned brake system. Front rotors are 14.9 inches. The old 2018 truck, 13.2. Rear rotor is sitting at 14.8. Okay, it grows from 13.7 today. Calipers, 57 millimeter piston diameters, up from 54. Front calipers, a twin piston front, you got a single piston rear. That rear caliper also houses electric park brake motor, which is standard on all trucks. Big weight reduction in terms of going to electric park brake. So that's it in terms of brakes. It's all about, you know, improving that braking situation and so forth, and going after fantastic stopping distance. we work our way aft. You'll see the cab mounts are all designed and redesigned and retuned to help mitigate shake. The C-pillar cab mount in particular, we've gone to what we call as a hydro mount. That hydro mount is specifically tuned for torsion. So you get those torsional modes in the frame, your head starts waggling, and road looks relatively smooth. So that's what this was all about, is try to dampen those torsional modes coming off the frame. So the hydro mount is new. These two cross members back here, all about stiffness and strength back here. Double shear attachments, you'll see they extend basically through the longitudinal beams. So welded on both sides, which creates the double shear. Great for strength, okay, great for stiffness. You know, that was the whole thought process with respect to redesigning these beams. Shock absorbers. Twin tube shocks are standard. So basically what we use on the shock absorbers, we have a technology we call a frequency response damper. And to put it simply, it's two bleed paths. Okay, it's a bleed path for low frequency inputs. Call it that 2 to 3, subtle input that you get. It works to dampen out those subtle inputs. When you get into those faster road inputs, those rougher road inputs, basically you're using the main portion of the valve. Okay, so that low speed, low frequency portion of the valve shunts out, and then it acts like a normal shock absorber. So FRD shocks is unique. They're basically a huge enabler in terms of improving the fun and drive of the vehicle. We do offer off-road packages. With our off-road package, the attitude of the truck grows 1 inch in height, increase it up +1. But with those shocks, we have unique shock belting for that +1 attitude. Okay, once again, the no compromise type of approach to the drive, steering, and handling of the truck. Our Rebel package. Bilstein shock absorbers are standard with the Rebel, and that is a monotube shock. It's a performance shock. Okay, specifically designed for the Rebel. Rebel sits at +1. You get 33-inch Duratrack tires, and then you also get an E-locker. Okay, it's standard equipment with the Rebel. Tires, before I forget about tires, once again, quickly back to efficiency. Tire rolling resistance on our 20-inch tires, which are high volume tires, is improved by 10%. The current 2018 truck, old truck, had great rolling resistance tires. Chassis gone out, and basically we're working on our suppliers and reduced our rolling resistance by another 10% there. Air suspension is rolling chassis set up with air suspension. It makes its return. Okay, and this time around we've got 5 basic settings. From what we call our normal ride height, you can go up 1 inch to what's off-road 1. You can operate at off-road 1 up to 45 miles an hour. You can take it up +2 inches, going off, down that 2-track. You take it up +2. You're good at about 25 miles per hour before we start bringing the vehicle back down. There's an aero mode. When you get out on the highway, you get up to 60, 62 miles per hour. The truck will settle down into what we call aero mode. And then there's also an entry-exit level. And that's -2 inches from the normal ride height. Okay. So if you're out there and you have your hot date and she has to get into the truck with her heels, hey, you can be a gentleman, lower the truck, and offer great entry exit for your companion. Rear axles. Rear axles have all been redesigned. 10 pounds of commodity axle. There's 321, 355, 392 axle ratios. Open, limited slip, and E-locker, like I mentioned. When it comes to the Rebel, once again, the no compromise thought process, you're +1. Okay, we have unique rear suspension geometry points on those given axles that go to the Rebel into the +1 setting. It'd be very easy just to raise the truck +1 and you've got bushings wound up, your suspension travels are being compromised. We didn't want to do that. So basically we're offering, take on the complexity, we're offering unique rear suspension geometry points for +1 and Rebel. So lastly, I'd like to talk about these small cams over here. and then we'll get into powertrain efficiency. These canisters, what we've done with the truck and relates to powertrain efficiency, we've expanded our cylinder deactivation. We call it MDS. It's our four-cylinder mode for the V8 Hemi. But when you get into that four-cylinder mode, there's a couple of things that are not desirable. There's a vibration that you sense through the structure, seat of the pants type of thing. It's also an audible note. You tune into the truck, audible note that basically is there with four-cylinder. So we've thrown some, once again, focus on comfort, we've thrown some technology at the truck, okay, to basically mitigate, okay, those disturbances. So we've expanded MDS for efficiency and fuel economy. This little canister here, one on each side, we've got specific angles we've tuned, okay, to give a result vector there. Well, basically what happens here is there's a sensor that picks up the vibration from that four-cylinder mode coming down the drain. Okay, this thing basically kicks a vibration 180 degrees opposite to that, essentially cancels the vibration. So that's what we do. That's called our active tune mass equation. It's electrical coil, magnet, and weight, and thing that cycles back and forth. So that's that. Now, coupled to that, in the interior, this is in the audible side. Very similar thought process there is we have active noise cancellation. Now, with active noise cancellation, we use microphones up on the headline. Okay, once again, it senses that four-cylinder mode. Basically, that works through the amplifier and the speakers to kick the sound 180 degrees out of phase to that, but it's getting at the microphone. Once again, focus on comfort. Let's mitigate, those type of disturbances into the cabin when you get into the four-cylinder operation. So that's it in terms of the rolling chassis. What I'd like to do is turn it over to Brian, and Brian will now walk you through the powertrain.
I want to thank you for joining us for our second of the 3 videos regarding the Ram 1500 truck and our experience up here in Lexington, Kentucky with the Ram. And thanks to Mike for taking the time to talk to us.